welcome here if you're she, he, we or they. You're welcome here if you're gay, straight or working it out. You're welcome here if you're in a relationship, single, divorced or widowed. You are welcome here if you're inked, pierced, both or neither.
You're welcome here if you're young.
Or young at heart.
You're welcome here if your neurons like to be typical or like to be spicy. You're welcome here if you're more Christian than Colin from Witch Hazel or haven't got the whole faith thing yet.
You are welcome here if you're living on a prayer or could use a prayer right now. You are welcome here if you've got it all sorted or if you've got doubts. You are welcome here.
Good evening. Hello, good evening, welcome. Welcome to Great T-shirt. Good to chat some music tonight. But yeah, how are we all doing? Good to be with you, Isabel, and others joining, whether now or in the future, this past. Always welcome. Good to kind of find out how people are doing. Has there been some cool stuff for you? Catching up from Easter, Holy Week, the week that has been, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the rain, surviving Storm Dave. Hello, Dave. My trampoline now. As it careers over next door's fence. Well, it's a bit cold. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, well, yes, yeah, and then suddenly everything else felt colder, didn't it? But it was pretty warm today, I thought. Evening, good sir, how are we doing? Oh, sorry that didn't happen. I did go live like straight away, so maybe it didn't do a notification, so I didn't plan it for later, maybe. So I might be able to show on my end, so apologies for that, my friend. Hey, you're okay? What? That's amazing. That is so cool. That's I'm so chuffed for you. That's amazing. Particularly at these times. That's wonderful. Hope you're settling in. Hope it's going all right. That's wonderful. I hope it is a haven, a safe space for you, and a place to be and to refresh and to just be fulfilled. Yeah. So, with this wonderful news, shall we gather? I'd like you to join in these words, preferably in a sort of screamo death metal growl if you are in a public place.
As moon rises, the sun slips sight, begins the ritual of this night, for those convinced their path is right. Gathered from north, south, east and west, yet called at another's behest, those treading the path that is left. From near and far come as you are to this place and embrace this space as darker hue embraces you.
Good evening,
water, spirit, earth and fire, confessing the sins of empire, we come with our wounds and desire. Sensing that we are not alone, drawn to the flame that guides us home, for here you, me, and yet to be. Importance and signs of these times, for the sake of all those maligned, is yet the home of the divine.
Yeah. So now we've shared some good stuff already in terms of houses, recognising it's been a bit chilly. We've perhaps been spoilt by some of the warm weather here in the UK, but in between that we had Storm Dave. So yeah, is there other stuff people want to share that is particularly good? We could share some other stuff later on as well. What you've been up to, what you've been enjoying. What's giving you hope in these times. Yeah, just a few minutes to have a type. If you're joining for the first time, don't have to use your name, don't have to comment, don't have to join in. That's totally fine. But if you want to, please do. Just yeah, let us know how you are in a comment.
Hear the crowd as we roar. See the eagle, it soars. Wind and rain, refresh once more. From fear, hope redefined, we will not be denied. For are we yet alive? The threefold name and rekindle the flame. Faith, hope and love they remain. The song shall stay the same. Like it's all gone too, shall we be downcast too? Or stand shield to shield, together in the field? We freeze to yield. Steadfastly holding the line, for love wins in eternity's time. We keep pressing forward until our last, and our crash shall be forever. Choose attack.
No, this is cool. All these messages. Thank you, everyone. So this is very exciting. So as well as the house, I'm having a hedge to cut. Yes, I haven't done the grass yet. Last year, bought one of those kind of, it was in the middle aisle at Aldi, one of those lawnmower things that kind of, in theory, does it for you. And then for all the setting up, and then I didn't get around to getting the grass to a level where it was then gonna, and so it's still in the box waiting to, I just need to move the trampoline back after Storm Dave. In order to then do the grass, but yes, gardening soundtracks. Oh, there's a playlist we should do. Yeah, gardening soundtracks. So yeah, Virtually 11. So yeah, the first time I saw Iron Maiden was in the short-lived Blaze Bayley era. I loved X. I thought, Sorry on the Cross is just epic song. I thought it was a really good album. Yeah, it's different, and I think they developed that on Virtually 11. I think Klansman is like one of my absolute favorite Iron Maiden songs of utterly all time. And yeah, having seen both Blaze and then heard, I wasn't there, Rock in Rio, but Brewster, I'm really glad that some of that stuff's made it into some of the live repertoire, really. But I like that album. So in a bit of Saxon, yes, Alexander the Great, bit of Saxon, can't be a bit of new wave. I think and I guess bands like Witch Haze and stuff. There's been and Seven Sisters, sort of a resurgence of recent bands who kind of influenced by that, rekindling that flame, doing their own thing with it as well, which is wonderful. I'm a Saxon fan. Oh, cool! So a good time at Easter Church on Friday and on Sunday. Yeah, that's really cool. So people turn up. That's cool. We did Darkest Night last Saturday at Norton Lees. That was good. Without band this time, but kind of just doing more sort of ambient sound and possibly some AI generated metal musical settings of classic Eastery type hymns. Hymns. Sorry, I've pressed a button on here. I don't know. My screen went weird. Okay, and then you have announced by Elegant Weapons. I am not aware of this band. Hold on, Google Foo. Elegant. If I type this into Google, it's going to like show me some horrible knives or something that is considered elegant, isn't it? No. Modern metal band. Oh, okay. So it's Richie Faulkner. Okay. Have I not? Okay. So is it a similar sort of vibe to Priest? Sort of okay, so the first album, Horns for Halo, was out in 2023, and April 24th, so just over a week to go, their new second album, Evolution. Okay, traditional proto power metal and modern metal with a focus on songwriting and guitar work. Okay, cool. Oh, they sound good. So yes, you heard it here, went in here first because I didn't pay anything, but let's check out Elegant Weapons. That's exciting. I was quite into. I didn't quite get into Wolfsbane. I went backwards when he was in Iron Maiden and then discovered Wolfsbane. But I know people have seen the picture. But when he popped up at a Witch Hazel gig, and then for some photo shoots, he was wearing a Witch Hazel t-shirt. So genuinely, I almost got to meet him. I've been waiting outside Rock City in Nottingham all day on the X Factor tour when yet again Rock City Nottingham won best rock club in the world ever again. An Iron Maiden played and they couldn't get Eddie in the venue, so in a truck nearby. Got everyone's autographs, and I'd been stood outside for about 10 hours, and I had to go and see a man about a dog. So I was on one side of the skip, making myself slightly lighter weight as Blaze walked down the other side. So never mind. Oh well. I think this is happening. And I know it's the algorithm that kind of chucks back stuff at you that you show an interest in. But in a few recent days, there's been some, particularly in people who tend to cover sort of black metal, more extreme metal stuff, a couple of posts in the last week, like people going, there are Christians who like heavy metal, even black metal, extreme metal, and some of them even like have that as the theme of their music. Whoa. One of them even covered the Metal Bible. I'm like, wow, okay, like it's like but it's great that people are discovering it, and that people are talking about it. And so I discovered a magazine the other day. I can't remember how to pronounce this. I'm assuming I think it's Blaspheme or Blaspheme, but I think it's Black Metal for Jesus. It's the first couple of letters from each of those words, put in a sort of metal, black metal font that you can't read anyway. I'm assuming it's meant to sound slightly Scandinavian, in a sort of true cult Norwegian thing. But they were discussing some bands, and again talking about a lot of the, I guess, pagan black metal bands, and the common ground, I guess, in terms of wanting to respect nature, creation, acknowledging that the damage done when people go invading and colonizing and wiping out what was there before, for which the church, the big C, and Christendom has a lot to answer for. In the name of using religion in the name of state conquest, and other religions do that as well. So I mean, get into the whole therefore religion's a bad thing, but actually there is a common ground, I think, in terms of kind of appreciating the beauty and the melancholy of nature, and how it can speak to you, or depending what the weather is, that can express whatever you're feeling, and being in that sometimes is really helpful, especially with an awesome soundtrack. So yeah, it's cool that perhaps some of these barriers and walls and stuff that we put up, if it's good, it's good. So what I was going to choose some tech for on a similar vein, so thank you for getting us there, guys. Oh wait, one more Blaze comment. So have you seen the film Rockstar, based on roughly Judas Priest and Tom Ripper Owens, where he ends up Tim Ripper Owens ends up singing for Judas Priest during the time when Rob Halford left. But from Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg has this bit where, loosely based on that, Mark Wahlberg's character is in a tribute band for this metal band, and he goes and sees his idols play, and the kind of singer walks out halfway through or something, and so he gets up on stage and sings and is really good, and basically gets the gig. I'm just watching it, suddenly Bruce walks off halfway and pans the microphone to Blaze, and Blaze gets up and does a couple of numbers. That would be amazing. Superb. I hope you got free tickets. You get a lifelong free ticket. No, you get Prime Minister, even if you don't last as long as a lettuce. You get all the sort of freebies and set for life income stuff that you get for being Prime Minister. You get free Iron Maiden tickets for life if you've been in the band. I don't know. But again, as a band, to the previous drummers and people, they try and look after people who, to Clive Burr, and the fundraisers they do for him, I think every year. So yeah, metal as a family, which is cool. Oh wow! Oh, really? Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think I've tried to buy the Tim Owens albums retrospectively, and apart from paying obscene amounts of money and taking a risk on a second-hand vinyl being dodgy, it's really hard to find. I think when I last tried, it was all being kind of being forgotten about. I'm surprised, because I know I listened to a Rotting Christ album the other week, and they re-recorded some stuff. Surprised that the rumor that by the time the first Mayhem album came out, actually Necro Butcher had allegedly gone back and re-recorded the bass line, so that what's his face, Varg from Burzum, who was by that time in prison, wasn't even on the record. Whether that happened, I don't know. But yeah, so I guess I been listening to a lot of black metal, doom metal. So recently, My Silent Wake. I'd somehow not clocked that he released an album a couple of years ago. So I think I've managed to get number 99 out of 200 vinyl pressings. But also, but I don't know why. I've discovered something, and I heard it. I'm like, goodness me, what's that? It was just this amazing kind of choral bit at the beginning, then this full-on blast beat thing happened. It was on a playlist on iTunes, and I can't find the playlist or which song it was. So then I tried to sort of Google bands that sounded like that, and anyway, came across a kind of a subgenre of particularly black metal, involving basically using Orthodox Christian liturgy, some in a kind of inverted way. Some genuinely are Orthodox priests and monks who do this, but yeah, that sort of really low chanting, and seeing a couple of these videos live with all the sort of amazing cowls and surplices and things they've got, which wouldn't naturally find in the Orthodox Church anyway. but our stage gear and atmosphere is incredible. So currently into liturgical metal. Sounds pretty good. Good sir. And also you, my friend. Also you. I hope you're doing all right. So thank you for sharing what this day has made you say Tusentak, which is Viking for 1,000 thank yous. And being more Viking, it is therefore more metal. So there. But maybe there's been stuff that is heavy and not in a cool way. So a chance just to acknowledge some of the poop in the world. I recognise there's currently a ceasefire. It just, I don't know, it just blows my mind at the same time that as human beings, we don't seem to be able to learn the lessons that surely life is better without war. And at the same time, we're waiting for a group of people to come crashing literally through the atmosphere from a trip to the moon. It's just, I don't know, there's the amazing things we can do. Well, unless the plan is to kind of, those can afford to go and colonize a different planet and just leave the mess we've made of this one behind. I don't know. But we can do that and use technology for great things at the same time. Countries are still using technology to blast each other to smithereens. So maybe this stuff closer to home for you as well in terms of your own health and well-being, those who you love or care about as well. So transport knowledge and the stuff that is heavy and not in a cool metal way. But I'll just share this as I think I shared this last Friday, used it into in-person things, but I guess it echoes back to Easter and just the pain and suffering, and I believe that in the words of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who was arrested and executed only a matter of days before the end of the Second World War, a Christian involved in an attempt to assassinate Hitler, and that question of only a suffering God can help us now in terms of the suffering of the world, actually the divine, the other, in terms of the Christian understanding of a God that isn't distant or aloof, going, well, you're on your own now, we've got a mess you've made of it, crack on, actually enters into the world with all its joy, but with all its sorrow and pain as well, and somehow in death and defeat, somehow that is inverted into something about freedom and life in all its fullness. So chance to share stuff that is not cool.
When I survey the wondrous cause on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and pour contempt on all my pride. Forbid it, Lord, that I should boast, singing the death of Christ my God. All loving face that shall behold, I sacrifice them to your blood. See from his head, his hands, his feet, sorrow and love much love and sorrow meet, all forms compose, so rich a crown, the whole realm of nature mine, freeing far to snow.
Indeed so. Almost doom metal, then a bit of folk metal, and then a bit of sort of power metal keyboard there. How many musical genres can you try and shoehorn into one ruining of a hymn? Anyway, yes, thank you for sharing the stuff. Hi, Ellie, hope you're okay too, and everybody. Comments. Hi, Rachel, hope you're all right. Yeah, so yeah, I guess media has understandably focused on the situation with Iran, United States of America, and Israel and the surrounding area. I guess in Europe, again, it's the focus on Ukraine and the invasion and war instigated by Russia, and so perhaps some of the things happening elsewhere in the world, get missed. So I think as recent as last Sunday, Palm Sunday, no, week last Sunday, it was Easter Day, wasn't it? I should know that one. Multiple targeted attacks on Christian communities in specific areas. But in the context of many years of ethnic and religious violence. And again, in the midst of all of that horror and at the same time, cost of living, and where I am, suddenly one of the main people with access to supplying diesel and petrol and whatever suddenly ran out. I don't know whether somebody put the wrong price on the board and they went, good grief, that's cheap. And so it was right back to COVID again. You couldn't buy a toilet roll for love nor money. Everyone kind of panicking, but it's, I don't know, just this. I know we all do it. Especially if there are people for whom you are responsible or dependent on you. Yeah, it's really hard not to just focus on your own needs and put those first, and then kind of in some ways stuff the impact on the people. So whether it's that sort of stuff locally, where money's tight, even if you are fortunate to have a job or anything like that, as well as all the horror of violence in the world, whether it's in the name of religion or people's backgrounds or who thinks which piece of land should belong to who. It's just acknowledge it, and again, there are no easy answers, and apart from in our own way, trying to seek peace, to make peace, which is easier than keeping the peace, because sometimes you have to point out when something isn't right and needs to change. You want to make that more peaceful and just. Perhaps being willing to campaign, to march, to bend the ear of our local elected representatives. that somehow, but we might find the encouragement to keep on keeping on in that until there is heaven on earth for everyone. So whatever it is that is weighing you down today, a chance just to acknowledge that as we share together in these words.
The principalities and will to power, the worms from within my own darkest hour. I confess all the regrets and the regrets, the burdens and fears, the lament and the tears. I lay them down.
And as we do, I believe that the divine, the universal force of love and peace and justice in the person of Jesus of Nazareth, the original long-haired and bearded dude, comes ringing out to me as arms open wide, this much. God loves us. Stretches out his arms and thighs, but comes running out to meet his arms open wide, saying, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, even if you don't like Iron Maiden, but why wouldn't you? And I will give you peace and rest, and may that rest and peace and refreshment and wholeness and hope and encouragement and comfort and strength, in whatever way you need it, be yours this night." And now a reading, partly inspired to remember to do a Bible reading, because like I say, I've noticed a couple of things on my YouTube feed, people within the metal community covering the fact that there are Christians who like metal. There are even metal bands that are constituted by people of the Christian faith, and who have that their faith or those themes as their kind of lyrical content, and even the Metal Bible, I've got to mention, which is cool. Let's just have a look. Okay, cool. So this is Isaiah 26, 1-9, which says, "On that day this song will be sung in the land of Judah. We have a strong city. He sets up victory like walls and bulwarks. Open the gates so that righteous nations that keep faith may enter it. Those of steadfast mind you keep in peace. In peace because they trust you. Trust in the Lord forever, for in the Lord God you have an everlasting rock." See? A new God like metal. Maybe a bit middle of the road hard rock. "For he has brought low the inhabitants of this height. The lofty city he lays low. He lays it low to the ground, casts it to the dust. The Lord's foot tramples it, the feet of the poor, the steps of the needy. The way the righteous is level, O just one, make smooth the path of the righteous, and in the path of your judgments, O Lord, we wait for you. Your name and your renown are my sole desire. My soul yearns for you in the night. My spirit within me earnestly seeks you. For when your judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world learn righteousness." Quite alongside the sort of slightly uncomfortable kind of death and destruction element to that. But contextually, this is the Hebrew tribes, people who'd settled in what is now Israel, Middle East area, who have become the group who followed the God Yahweh, but they have been carried off and conquered and carried off into exile in Babylon, and so they are, it's an encouragement to keep the faith when things are going south of heaven. Good slayer of them. Actually, it can be tempting to try and take things into our own hands, to try and control what we can. Certainly, I know I do that. I always know that my mental health is not in a good way because I enjoy tidying my desk and lining things up and doing things involving stationery in an attempt to sort of exercise some sort of control and organization. in the rest of life when I don't feel that I have it. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you do something similar. I shall reorganize the kitchen. Well, but yeah, but this encouragement that even when it feels like prayer isn't answered, even when it feels like there isn't justice, even when people seem to get away with horrendous things, that to in the words of Bon Jovi, keep the faith. And on the what will now be sadly the final Megadeth album, after Mr. Mustaine has called it a day, but there's a song on there called Hey God, which is kind of a lament of kind of why is all this stuff the way it is, God, but actually maybe we don't always spend time. We look at other things, we get caught up in stuff, we try and control things ourselves, and there's something about it's a difficult call, but still choosing to look for hope, for peace, for justice, and to look for that hope in the divine and the all-parent and the universal force of love and justice. One word for it might be God. Or so I don't know if that echoes with people. And that what we talked about in terms of all the violence in the world, longing for a time when that is no more, when there is peace and genuine peace, not just the sort of it says, the seeds of the next conflict are kind of sown in how the previous one is ended, and the peace that's put in place. So essentially, in Isaiah, it's kind of a hymn. It talks about two cities. There's the kind of lofty city it talks about in verse 5. Powers around who seem to be mighty and all conquering, and probably think they can't be touched. And whereas perhaps those who feel persecuted, those who are suffering, those who are kind of looking to the divine, are kind of contrasted as this other kind of city. And despite how things may look, despite what people are experiencing, to maintain faith that one day, even no matter how high and untouchable people think we are, actually nothing in that way lasts forever, and that in that sense of righteousness, or having a sense of a relationship with God, a bit like the Stoics kind of philosophy, that all this stuff happens, but actually it's having that strength, that peace, that faith, and that hope within you, and not looking for those things from outside, but having it internally. Actually, that is a huge strength. And I talked about Dietrich Bonhoeffer earlier, but Martin Luther King. Gandhi, all these people who stood immense courage, immense strength, who had that other resolve within themselves, to face all this stuff, even to pay with their own lives. Oscar Romero, but just to stand in the face of this seeming huge, untouchable power, but stand for peace and for justice. To recognise the strength in that, but just how our own faith can help, and how we're mindful of that, how we pay attention to that, how we try and cultivate that, whether it's through reading the Bible, whether it's to being part of something like this, being part of another kind of Christian group, or whatever faith group you belong to. But just recognise that as important, and I think the Dave Mustaine song "Hey God" kind of talks about only with me to kind of come and have a chat, God, when it's all done down the toilet. Sorry. Yeah, but actually, it's about priority, isn't it? And aligning our lives and the way we spend our time and money, where we put our souls, where we put our energy in line with that. And maybe the things kind of follow. Yeah, like you don't learn how to play guitar or bass or drums or form an awesome metal band by just kind of plugging in and hoping for the best. You spend hours, years, usually on your own, practicing and practicing. See, I now realise that's what I should have been doing. See, that's why I suck. Damn it! Ah. Anyway, yeah. Oh, no. See, I'm a, you know, I see. Yeah, it's well, your point here. I'm impressed with the point. I tried to code that into a point, but it's I feel I'm starting to look like one of the two brothers out of Rotting Christ with sort of a huge Greek beard. I'm having a beard, not competition. We're both just me and someone else from one of the physical churches where I am. Decided we're not going to cut our beards for 2026. Let's just put David's beard up, because David is the beard by which others are measured, that too. There we go. I mean, that is, it is. Beards of the world, we salute you. So me and this guy were also just concerned that we might, if we get like kind of get really long or big and we get close to each other, it's going to be like Velcro and it's sort of like stuck together. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. Mine's now got to the point where it sort of moves in the wind. Sort of, yeah, I've got some runes. So I might try putting some runes in again. But yeah, I had a dream last night. Did anybody else get like stress dreams? So I had one where I now grind my teeth, but it's usually an I'm stressed. I can have a dream where my teeth are falling out continually, like some sort of Cannibal Corpse album cover. And last night I had a dream that I'd somehow gone to trim this side of my beard, but shaved it all off, and got this side was still there. And so I spent the rest of the day kind of walking everywhere like this. I don't know what that's about. Maybe I was worried that I was having a stress view about having not made my beard equal on both sides when trying to sort of thin it. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, sidetracked by beards. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, we popped to a garden centre earlier on. That's how metal I am. I've had a cup of tea, and I made the mistake of ordering a scone with jam and cream. We will not get into which went on first, the cream or the jam. It was the cream, because it was clotted cream. Therefore, it makes a better base on which to put the jam. Cornish way is okay too. Oh, is that no wait on? Anyway, yeah, and I said, I've just realised that I hadn't forgotten that there are a list of foods that you shouldn't eat with a big beard, by which I mean food. Certainly not in public. Latte, soup. Yeah, it's followed by my daughter then spending the next 20 minutes telling me I got something stuck in my beard when I hadn't. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I hope what I was waffling on about in terms of that Bible passage is I don't know, maybe it connects with you, maybe it doesn't. But in your own way, if this stuff feels out of control and all this stuff just keeps happening, come on, what the hell's going on? Actually holding on to that relationship, that righteousness, being in that relationship with God, the divine. And holding firm. I'm choosing to say, and yet I'm being invaded by a cat. Hello, cat. Hi, cat. I hope that faith be a source of strength and comfort and encouragement to you. Just keep on keeping on, and being part of something like this. Maybe not your own. It's okay to come up here and say I'm really struggling. To messages on Facebook. And have a chat and pray if that's the sort of thing that's helpful to you. Again, it's not about easy answers. It's about acknowledging that it's crap, and still choosing to align ourselves and to put our energy into peace and justice and love. So, just should we just offer this prayer, I guess, for ourselves, for the places we've mentioned where there is continuing conflict, rejoicing and celebrating with those who've got stuff to celebrate, including new houses, looking forward to new albums, enjoying the occasional glimpses of warm weather here in the UK. But for those people and places in creation that are in need at this time.
To the one in whom all people and all creation have their being, may your kingdom come, your will be done, as above, so below. Sustain us for this day. Show us grace as we seek to show grace to those we feel have wronged us.
There she is.
Save us from the worst that is within us and within this world. For the kingdom, the power and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
So, I'm going to say that is Obi-Wan in that picture, isn't it? I just realised my verifier because I've just tuned in there. Very good. I just Paul. I just love your ability to deliver the truth, a sermon, a message. Well, I waffle on for ages, but you just do it, man, and it's there. That's what I was trying to say. This, it doesn't last forever. That's what reading's about. It is like this, but it does not last forever. And for fans of 1980s Robin of Sherwood, which I think was Richard Carpenter, but not that one, and have this thing. It's all kind of slightly, sort of neo-pagan influence, but in those it's kind of whole vein about the power of the Normans and all of that, and they're kind of saying this belongs, all this wood that's just there growing naturally, actually belongs to us now, and only we're allowed to be in it. And so how dare you, not without enough food to eat, take matters into your own hands and nick some of the royal deer or whatever. And they had this phrase in there that kind of nothing is forgotten, nothing is lost, nothing is lost. And that, ultimately, those trying to live justly and to walk humbly with fellow human beings, the one human race, made in the image of the divine, and to show mercy. All of that isn't lost, isn't forgotten, because the stuff does not last forever. So keep on, keep strong. And now the notices. So I think, as you may be aware through our Facebook group and page, we are in the process of putting together a community sing with the Still City Choristers here in Sheffield, where we've asked you to nominate songs. I think we're just drawing up the final list of those based on people willing to share a story around that. So thank you to those who are and have been, but also try to work out to what extent that could musically be transformed, transposed into something that would work chorally. The final list of the songs that we're going to try and learn. Again, none of the bits are not forgotten. It's all, we're going to share that as well, and why those things are important. Songs are important to people, so stand by. We're talking sort of months, but we are working on it, because we've got to go away and get that transcribed into soprano, alto, tenor, bass, choral works, and then arrange to find somewhere to practice and turn up and sing. Ideally, we'd love to do it as a kind of a concert at the end of it and share it with people. But just if you want to, and you can get Sheffield, come and just be part of singing together. If like me, you can't carry a note in a bucket, the art of miming is okay too. I exercise that art very well. And I guess so. The other notice is, so believe it or not, there is like a group of people who kind of oversee the Metal Methodist stuff to make sure I'm not too weird. But just, I guess one of the conversations we've had is, as some of you may know, the matriarch of Metal has not been well. Now in a better place, health-wise, thank goodness. But for the first 3 months of this year, it's just been a bit hit and miss in terms of trying to do streams, because so much time has been spent literally having to go backwards and forwards to various hospitals. I think she managed at most 5 nights, and running 5 nights between January and beginning of April at home. So it kind of highlighted the need for perhaps others within the Metal Methodist community who might be up for willing to host a stream like this. And so what we propose is to have a town hall, a meeting, not streamed, but a meeting on Zoom, where we could all meet. We can kind of talk about how this stream happens, StreamYard, which is a platform that I use for doing it, how it works on the inside. I can give you a demonstration of it, and some of you may go, "Oh, yeah, see, if that Muppet can do it, I can do it." Believe me, you bloody well can. To kind of talk about if that's something you might be interested in doing streams. Maybe not a whole stream, maybe doing things for a stream, just trying to encourage and use the gifts, the talents, the creativity, the skills from within the community, rather than sort of relying on the shambles that is me. So I hope that makes some sort of sense. So watch our Facebook page and group, facebook.com Metal Methodist, and the group is Metal Methodists. If you want to find out more, we'll post a date for that, and it will just be, turn up. You don't have to have your camera on, you don't have to say anything, you don't have to put your real name in the Zoom chat, but there'll be a link coming out on our Facebook page if you want to find out more about what we do and how we do it, and I guess some of the values behind it, and the ethos of it, and to see if it's the sort of thing you think, I reckon I could rock that. I'll do that. Again, it's not trying to create huge commitments for people, because I know everyone's really busy and got a lot on, whether you're working or just in terms of life happening, and health, all those things. But I guess a way that we can all support each other and contribute into this being, kind of community-led. So watch this space. Thank you for joining me today. I see you next week. So I'm off to go and listen to what was it you said? Elegant Weapons. Okay, so I'm going to go and check out Elegant Weapons. I'm going to continue my hunt for Tim Ripper Owen recordings, Judas Priest recordings, and also I'm going to look forward to the new My Silent Lake album. It's 2 years old now, 3 years old, but new to me, album coming, and also some goodies from Nordic Mission. There's been a bit of a flourishing of Christian, black metal they're putting out. So particularly some bands from the USA. So I'll share some of that with you, and tune in same time, same place next week. And it'd be really good to kind of, whether it's your gardening playlist, whether it's your sunshine walking playlist, whether it's walking in the rain and embracing your Norwegian black metal in a whatever joy of nature, that's fine. It'd be good to share, the tunes that I've got us through the week. That's will be helpful. And again, just putting each other in touch with different bands, different styles. So thank you everybody, and go well. And also just to say thank you to the president of the Methodist Conference, who came to see us 2 weeks ago. Have I streamed since then? I did one on Good Friday, but yeah, just to say thank you to those who made the physical journey, some as far as the West Midlands and from further up north than me as well. From the other side of Sheffield came. I hope people felt welcome. So the President of the Methodist Conference is kind of an honorary title for a year, and you get elected and you travel around Methodist congregations and groups of people throughout the UK, and get to know their community and find out how they worship, all that sort of stuff, and tell these really positive stories. And the theme this year was "This is our story, this is our song." And so I asked the president, being slightly nervous because the president, he's got the word president, for goodness sake, has a big cross. Show me a cross. I'm really cross. Yeah, so he's just a human being, but kind of going, "Ooh, don't put your foot in it." So very, very, very kindly rocked up in his Radiohead T-shirt, which is very cool. Talking about him and his son. His son is Metalhead Goes Download, but the various bands they've been to, including Muse. Yeah, and so asked about how music had shaped him, and there was a beautiful moment where I realised I had nothing to worry about. No matter what happened in the rest of that event, the only thing that anyone was going to remember was the fact that the president of the conference talked about being at school, and a music teacher. This is a brilliant thing. The music teacher would allow people to bring in, vinyl, take whatever they were listening to, and then the rest of the class would listen to it. So share us your music that's like kind of doing it for you in a minute. And he said, and my mate turned up with "Never Mind the Bollocks" by the Sex Pistols. And I thought that's brilliant because great album, but also all anybody's going to remember about this event is the fact the president of the Methodist Conference said bollocks in church. Hurrah! Yeah, and the fact he did, amazing. Thank you. Yeah, because it is music and it's a statement, and it's a challenge to the powers that were at the time and pointing out some injustice. Quite a prophet, punk as a movement, and still is in many ways. He fought for good, and I fought for social change. But just literally the fact that the president dropped a bollock during the service. So brilliant. So I digress, and I can't remember why I was saying any of that. No, anyway, I'm going to go now. Have a lie down in a darkened room. So thank you all, and until next time, and there will be a next time. Sway with me, Metal Complain. Sway with me, Metal Complain.